Hello, sports fans. King Icheboo Sports Network is on the air. We are broadcasting on September the 8th, 1979. It's a Saturday, and we have lots of sports for you today. Also want to say that our main rivals, ESPN, is starting their broadcasting today on September the 8th, 1979, and we wish them well. Looking at their broadcasting schedule for today, I recommend you go over there to ESPN if you really enjoy Slo-pitch softball. That's the first event that they're showing on ESPN. Professional Slo-pitch softball. I did not know there was such a thing, but since there is, if you're a big fan of that league, I encourage you to go over there and watch that. However, if you like Major League Baseball and college football, stay right here on King Icheboo Sports Network. Here's the current standings in the Major League Baseball. The Pirates keep winning over and over again. Montreal and Chicago met and split their series, so that gave Pittsburgh's wins a lot more meaning, and they now have a 4-game lead over Montreal, 7 games over Chicago. Cincinnati and Houston are battling tooth and nail and only a game apart. Milwaukee is falling more and more behind Baltimore, who's running away with the East. And in the American League West, it was California that came during this week and tied Kansas City, but now they've fallen behind 2 games, and Minnesota is now jumping up into second place. And that's the game we're going to play first of all today. The mighty Minnesota Twins and the Texas Rangers. If you know anything about King Icheboo replays, the Minnesota Twins always do well. The dice of King Icheboo loves the Twins for some reason. The Cardinals and the Twins, seems like. So we're going to play this today. Texas is in Minnesota. Both are P. Texas is -1 defense. Minnesota's 0. So Texas has the advantage since the Minnesota's home field advantage is neutral. Therefore, Texas will roll P and Minnesota will roll O. And that's what we're going to play here. I'm going to get this up and running here. Let's see if I can find them. Here's the charts. I'm going to bring up the chart. And we are going to start here rolling for Texas. And I have to bring it up. I have to have it here to remind me so I don't screw up. It's very important to roll on the right column, I find, if you want to be accurate. So here we go. This is P for Texas. You're in a big game. Minnesota, if they win this game, will move closer to Kansas City. If they lose, they'll move into third place. Here is the roll. 55 for Texas on P. 55 is 5 runs. That sets a high bar for the Twins. Let's see if they can overcome it. They have to go down to an O. That means they have to roll at least 51 to stay in this game. They roll a 23, so they've lost 5-3 today to the Texas Rangers. So 5-3 is the final score. The winner is Doc Medich, and Jerry Kuzman is the loser. They get a home loss. They score 3, and they allow 5 runs. Going over to Texas. They win this one on Saturday, the 8th of September, and they get an away win, scoring 5 runs and 3. So we go over to the up-to-date standings now. And we're going to do a little sort here so we get the correct. And there we are. The update standings are California's 2 games back of Kansas City. Minnesota falls to 2.5 games back. Texas, I guess, still has a chance, 6.5 games back. It's always good ratings to play the Red Sox. So we're going to go to Fenway Park and play the number 1 team in baseball, the Baltimore Orioles, as they face the Boston Red Sox. Baltimore won yesterday's game by a score of 2-1. Baltimore rolls on P, just like we just saw. Baltimore rolls on P like Texas did, and Boston rolls on O just like Minnesota. So let's get back, and we don't have to even move anything here. P for Baltimore. Here's their roll this time, 63. It's even better. They get another really fortunate roll. They got 7 runs. Boston on O has to roll to get 7 runs, at least a 64. They roll a 31, so they get 3. The final score, Baltimore 7 and Boston 3. Another victory for the Baltimore Orioles. Steve Stone was the winner. Mike Torres, the loser here today at Fenway Park. Home loss for Boston. 3 runs, 7. I'm going to do all the rolling for all the home runs and everything later, not on screen, as I'm not convinced that it's entertaining to watch that. So we will, for some reason, I lost the copy. I don't know why. Excel and I have this interesting relationship, and it happened again. So I don't know why. I think I hit Control C, and I put some. I can show you why. I put some macros in, and now every time I hit Control C, I thought it was going to affect only that particular worksheet, but it seems to affect every worksheet. I'll show you what I mean here. So I put some controls because for me to have to do these sorts, it doesn't seem to save the sorts, and so I put some macros in. Now when I hit Control G, see, now it doesn't do it. So what's Control G? There we go. It sorts the New York Giants. So this is what I'm working on right now. This is the 1900 National League, but I have applied pitching into it, and I think it's working really well. Basically how it happens is you roll, and if you have a tie after 8 innings, then you see if you have a reliever come in, and then you award the pitchers based on how many innings they pitch and where they got the win, how many runs they allowed, and then it applies on the bottom a factor for the amount of earned runs to unearned runs, the percentage, and applies. So you can see here Brickyard Kennedy gave up 8 runs total, but because only 0.79% of those runs were earned, he gets only 6 runs. That applies to his earned run average. It's not an unearned run average, it's earned run average. So he has 3 overall because he's given up 8 runs in 18 innings. So or 6 runs in 18 innings. 8 runs total, but 6 earned runs in 18 innings. He has a 3 ERA. So, and that is being applied to all these players, and it's going on to here. So we can see right now that the leader is Al Orth. He's 3-0 with a 3 ERA. Same with Jack Chesbro of Pittsburgh, who's leading the league right now, 3-0, 225. And so I'm trying new things with this Guinea Pig League, 1900 National League, and I think things are working out very well, and I'll apply it to the 1980 baseball season. So that's a couple of ball games here in the pennant race, and we'll just add Baltimore's win here. And they scored 7 runs and 3. Did I apply it to Boston? Yes, I did. So the up-to-date standings now, Baltimore is 94-46. They're just rolling. They have a 10-game lead over Milwaukee. And yeah, that Control G there is affecting this. That's what's going on here. I can't go Control C and Control G because it's a macro on this sheet, on this 1900s, that's affecting all the other ones too. I wonder if it affects it if I close it. Let's see, if I save this and then I close it, will it affect it now? So if I can control, no, see, it doesn't affect it. So because that one's open. So I'm going to try to see if it, I'll do this offline. Anyway, still working out the kinks. That's what's taking a lot of time. Why isn't he doing more videos? Why isn't he? He's working on these things in the background in his spare time, trying to get Excel to work properly. But we're going to go and do some college football. We've started the NCAA tournament. I did record a lot of these, but what happened was I bought this little USB hub, and I put my microphone into this little hub, and now it didn't work. It didn't record any audio. So but lots of these games were blowouts. Just to recap what's happened today in the college football tournament, 64-team tournament, we're playing home and away. The number 1 ranked USC Trojans defeated the Virginia Tech Hokies, in the 64th ranked Hokies, 29-9 in the game at Virginia Tech. And now they're going to go back to Southern Cal, and Southern Cal has a 20-point lead going into that, so they should win that easily. And there's a lot of blowouts. As you can see, Alabama defeated Chattanooga in Chattanooga 44-18. Oklahoma over Georgia Tech 47-0. Ohio State over Miami of Ohio 28-9. We haven't played this one. This will probably be another blowout. Texas, Mississippi. We haven't played that. We go down here and we played the next one down. We played the only upset so far. Number 14th ranked Texas A&M is losing to Texas Arlington, the 51st ranked Texas Arlington, 26-15. So now they're going to go back to College Station, Texas, and Texas A&M is going to be down by 11 points. And so they have their work cut out, or they're going to suffer the upset. That's pretty much the only upset. This one was closer than we thought. Penn State only won by 7 in Kentucky. Michigan over Utah State in Utah, 32-15. What other ones did we play? We thought, well, maybe the games would be closer if I go onto the bottom here, but East Carolina soundly defeated the Missouri Tigers, 29-13. Virginia crushed California. This is the 32-33 game. You think it'd be closer, but Virginia just annihilated California, 38-15. So let's play some other college football games. Let's play the 30th ranked Tennessee versus 35th ranked Central Michigan. Now we'll start with Tennessee. They have an offense of M. They're facing a very good defense from Central Michigan, -4. And the strength of schedule is 2. You take and you subtract these 2. Now, the way the strength of schedule works is you have this chart over here, and if the difference between the two is only 2, then there's no modifications. If there's a difference of 7 to 10, you give 1 point higher for the higher strength schedule team. If it's 11 to 15, you give the higher strength of schedule team +1 and the lower -1. And the highest we've seen so far is 19. So that gave USC +2 and Virginia Tech -1. But you can see if you have a negative strength of schedule, it can add up very quickly. In this case, it's only a difference of 2, so there's no difference. So we don't even take that into consideration. So M -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down to I goes Tennessee. So Tennessee's the higher ranked team, but looks like they're going to have the lower column to roll from because Central Michigan starts at M. The defense of Tennessee is 0, so that stays at M. And the strength of schedule doesn't matter. Then we take the home field advantage. Central Michigan goes up to an N, and Tennessee goes down because the right of it is for the visiting team, and this is subtracted, so you subtract 1 from Tennessee, so Tennessee goes down to an H. So the final ratings are Tennessee H and Central Michigan N. So that's a huge advantage for Central Michigan, the lower ranked seed. So we could see an upset here, although a minor one. We go to the chart here, and we're going to roll on I for Tennessee. Here's the dice. Rolling for Tennessee for the first quarter on H. Gotta make sure I get to the right one. H. Here's the roll. 62 is a very good roll. 62 on H is a touchdown. 7 points for Tennessee. Quarterback Jimmy Streeter. And probably to Willie Galt. We'll say it's Willie Galt. Streeter to Galt. Touchdown Tennessee. 7-0. Now we're going to roll for Central Michigan. They are on N, as in Nancy. So N, it's on the second page. And here's the roll for Central Michigan. They roll 53. That's 10 points for Central Michigan. They lead at the end of the first quarter 10-7. Now we go back to the second quarter for Tennessee. We roll on H. I think it's the first one, not the second one. I might as well just close this one right now. For now, ease the confusion. H, here we go. Rolling on H for Tennessee. 43. 43 is 6 points. Whether it's 2 field goals or an unconverted touchdown, we will never know. But that puts Tennessee back ahead by a score of 13-10. Now we roll for Central Michigan on N. N as in nickel. Here we go. Roll. 33. 33 is also 6 points. So they get back their lead at the half. The score is Central Michigan 16, Tennessee 13. Rolling for the third quarter on H for Tennessee. Here's their roll. They're looking for a high number. They get 31. 31 is a field goal. So temporarily, the score is tied at 16. We go to N and bring up Central Michigan. Gary Hogeboom leads this team at quarterback. He's doing a fine job here today. Rolling the dice. I spoke too soon as he throws a goose egg. So after 3 quarters, the score is Tennessee 16, Central Michigan 16. This is the closest game we've had so far. We're rolling for Tennessee on H. They're looking for a high number. Here's their roll. 23 is not very high. It is 0 points. Nothing. For Tennessee, they're got to hope that Central Michigan throws another goose egg. Here is the roll for Central Michigan. 33. 33 is 6 points. So the final of the first leg of this home-to-home series, Central Michigan defeats Tennessee 22-16. Now the series goes back to Tennessee, with Tennessee trailing by 6 points. So they're going to have to make up at least 6 points in the second game if they want to go into overtime or better to defeat Central Michigan. So that we'll have to watch out for that one. Now we go to the next game. Lee Corso's Indiana Hoosiers versus Arizona State. And Mark Malone, Robert Weathers, Gerald Riggs. Versus Lee Corso with Tim Clifford at quarterback, Bob Stevenson and Mike Freedy, the receivers, and Lonnie Johnson and Mark Harkrader, the running backs. So let's determine the ratings for, first of all, the visiting Indiana Hoosiers. They start off at M. They face Arizona State, who's -2, so they go to K. And Arizona State starts at M. Indiana has no defensive. They have a 0 for defense, so they get to stay at M. So Arizona at home is M, and Indiana is K. The strength of schedule is only 2 difference, so it doesn't affect. So we will roll, first of all, Indiana on K. Probably one of the best Indiana teams that we've seen in the last 50 years. Is rolling on K. And they are the 29th ranked team. We'll just move this here so we don't have to keep on guessing. Here we go. K for Indiana. Here's their first roll. 55 is a pretty good roll. They score, if they would have had 56, they would have had 10 points. But 55 is 7 points. So a touchdown for Indiana. We go to Arizona on M. We don't have to change the page. Here's the roll for M for Arizona State. 51. 51 is also 7 points. So at the end of the first quarter, we're tied at 7. Indiana rolling on K. Here's the roll for Indiana. 52. 52 on K is 7 points again. So Indiana responds with another touchdown. We go to Arizona State on M. Here's the roll, 36. 36 is a 6. So we go to halftime. At the half, the score is Indiana 14, Arizona State 13. Third quarter now. K. Here's the roll for Indiana. Not as good this time. It's only a field goal. So they go up 17 to 13. And now we go, and here's Arizona State rolling on M. The roll is 21. That is just a field goal. So going into the fourth quarter, the score is Indiana 17, Arizona State 16. Here's the crucial final quarter roll. Rolling on K is Indiana. They're looking for something big. Here's the roll. 22 is not big. It's a 3-point field goal. And they finish going home. Indiana scores 20 points. How many points will Arizona State score? Here's their roll. 54 is 10 points. So Arizona State goes to Indiana with a 26-20 lead. Now here is UCLA and Syracuse. 28th ranked UCLA versus 37th ranked Syracuse. UCLA is an L. Syracuse has a +3 defense. So UCLA will go up 1, 2, 3. They go up to O. And Syracuse is M. And they go up 3 to P. So we're going to have a more high-scoring game here today as UCLA rolls on O and Syracuse rolls on P. The home field has no effect. So those are the final ratings. UCLA O, Syracuse P. All right. We get to go on the second page. And we're going to roll for UCLA on O. That is here. Their first roll for the first quarter is a 64 for UCLA. 14 points. 2 touchdowns for UCLA. That is Freeman McNeil. He probably ran one in. And Tim Reitman, let's say he scored on a receiving touchdown. And so it's 14-0 UCLA. We roll on Syracuse. They get to roll on P. Here is their roll. 34. 34 is 1 touchdown. So 1 touchdown for Syracuse. Run in by Joe Morris. Next touchdown will be a touchdown pass to Art Monk. Is what we'll say if they do score another touchdown. Second quarter going down to O for UCLA. Here's their roll. 41. That's another touchdown for UCLA. They've scored 21 first half points. Syracuse, let's see what they can do. Here's their roll. 13. 13 on P is a field goal. So at the half, Syracuse is at home and they're trailing 21-10. So we go to O. O for UCLA. Syracuse hoping for some low rolls. Here's the first one. 55 is not a low roll. It's 10 more points for UCLA. Freeman McNeil is having a field day here today. And Kenny Easley on defense is playing strong. 31-10 at this point. Here's Syracuse. Let's see what they can do with their roll. They need some big rolls. 36 is not a big roll. They do score a touchdown. There's Art Monk's touchdown. So it's 31-17 going in the fourth quarter. Here's the final roll. Syracuse needs this to be low. 52 is not low. It's another 10 points. So they are scoring at will, is UCLA. They got 41 points. Syracuse, let's see what they are going to go on the road and how many points will they have. 66. So that's 21 points. A big fourth quarter for Syracuse. Make it much closer. It's a 3-point game going on the road to UCLA. And UCLA has a -1 home field advantage. They're struggling at home. So that was a huge roll for Syracuse as they trail by 3 points. And if you're interested in what the ratings will be, UCLA is L +3 is O, just like this game. And Syracuse has P, just like this game. However, the home field this time makes the final roll N for UCLA, and Syracuse stays at P. So Syracuse is very much still in this because of that huge final roll of the second half. at their home game. So this should be interesting. We'll pay attention to that. Here's going to be a really close one too. South Carolina and Georgia. They're both I's and they're both -2s. So I -2 is G for Georgia. And South Carolina is also G. Strength of schedule is only 3 apart, so that's not affected. And Georgia has a neutral home field advantage, so that's not affected. So we're both rolling on G. This should be a very close game. And low scoring, because G is not very high scoring. Here's the first one for South Carolina, the visiting team. The roll is 36. They get a field goal in the first quarter. Georgia. Don't have to move it or anything. We just leave it right here. Georgia rolls a 16. That is scoreless. So at the end of the first quarter, the score is South Carolina 3, Georgia nothing. Here's a second quarter roll for South Carolina Gamecocks. 23 on G is nothing. See, I told you it was going to be a low-scoring game. No points there. Georgia wants to score something here. Here's their roll. 11. So they do score. They get a safety. 2 points. So the score at the half is South Carolina 3, Georgia 2. We're going to roll for the third quarter for South Carolina. Here's their roll. 64. They get a touchdown. Touchdown, and score is 10-2. Georgia needs to follow suit here. They want to fall behind. Here is their roll. 25. 25 is nothing. So the score is 10-2 South Carolina. Let's see what they do in the fourth quarter. The roll is 23. That is nothing. So Georgia has an open door here. They have to roll 51 to get a touchdown. So here's their roll. 13. They get nothing. So we're going to go back to South Carolina. They don't have to far to travel. We go back to South Carolina with the score. South Carolina 10, Georgia 2. Let's see. Purdue and Texas Tech. Purdue is L -2 is J. And Texas Tech starts at E 0. So they stay at E. However, the home field is more than, it's not neutral. It's bad for Texas Tech. So they go down to a D. And Purdue goes up to a K. KD. Okay, rolling for the first quarter for Purdue. Here's the roll. 12. That is scoreless. Some low rolls here. Who's on that Purdue team? Well, Mark Herman is the quarterback. Running backs Wally Jones and John Macon. Receivers Bart Burrell, Dave Young, Ben McCall, and Mike Augustiniak. And Dave Young is also on that team. For Texas Tech, Ron Reeves, Jim Hart, James Hadnot, Howie Lewis, and Edwin Newsome. None of them are really household names. I don't think that's Jim Hart. He's already in the NFL, the quarterback for the Cardinals, so that must be a different Jim Hart. Okay, rolling on K for Purdue. Here's the roll, 31. 31 for Purdue is 3 points. No, we just rolled them. They had 0. Okay, so we're going to roll on D. D for Texas Tech. Here's the roll, 33. That's a scoreless as well. Nothing after one quarter. We roll on Purdue on K. Here's the second quarter. 35. 35 on K is 6 points. 6 points for Purdue. Here's Texas Tech. Rolling on D. 61. That's a pretty good roll. 6 points for them. So they keep pace. At the half, the score is 6-6. Go to K. Rolling for Purdue in the second half. 34. 34 is 6 points again. Roll for Texas Tech. D. They have to roll high to get any points. 12. That's not high. That's a scoreless quarter. And it's 12-6. Going to the fourth quarter. Rolling on K for Purdue. 33. It's another 6 points. I don't know if the kicker's really busy or they just can't convert an extra point. It's 18-6. And Texas Tech. 61 is a good roll. They score 6. So going back to Purdue. The score is 18-12 for Purdue. This one might be interesting. Maryland and Iowa. As Iowa is an H. And Maryland's an H. And Iowa's J -4. 1, 2, 3, 4, F. And then you look at this. Iowa goes down to an E. And Maryland's at an H. So HE is the rating. Maryland has the higher rating as the higher seed. We're going to roll for Maryland. H, 63. A good start. 7 points in the first quarter. 7-0. And we're rolling Iowa on E. They need high rolls consistently. 46 is BQ. A big quarter possibility. We go to the BQ chart. And let's see what they roll here. If it's in yellow, it affects the column. If it's white, it's just how many points they'll score. Here is their roll. 62. 62 is -4. They roll again with a -4. They are on E right now. So you go -4. They're rolling on A. They have to roll 53 just to score any points. This is not a good news for Iowa fans. Here's their roll. 15. They are scoreless. So 7-0 Maryland. Roll on H for the second quarter. Here's the roll. 56. 56 a BQ for Maryland. And we go to the BQ chart again. Let's see what they can do. 44. 44 means they score 3 points. It's not really a big quarter. You have a big quarter chance, but doesn't guarantee a big quarter. So now, let's see what Iowa can do. They're down 10-0. They need to roll on E. They're hoping for a nice 65, 66, something like that. They roll 42. 42 is 3 points. They're on the board. At the half, the score Maryland 10, Iowa 3. Rolling on H for Maryland. Here's their roll. 12. That is scoreless. So the door is open for Iowa if they want to come back. They're rolling on E. Here is their roll. 24. That is scoreless. So they do not take advantage. 10-3 going in the fourth quarter. Rolling on H for Maryland. 35. 35 is a field goal. So they have 13 points to 3 for Iowa. And they roll, and they're rolling on E. Here's the roll. It's 55. 55 is a touchdown. So going to Maryland with the score 13-10. Now we go to Maryland to see if they can hold on to their 3-point lead. We already played Notre Dame and Wake Forest. The score was Notre Dame 20, Wake Forest 13. Now we have Tulane and Minnesota. Now the difference in strength of schedule for Tulane is 5, so it's no effect there. M plus 4, though, is MNOPQ. So Tulane's going to roll for Q. And Minnesota, 1, 2, 3, I. That's all the recipes for a blowout here. And then you look at the home field advantage. Tulane stays at Q. Minnesota goes down one more to H. So we'll play that one offline. We'll go to Auburn and Stanford. Auburn starts at N. They get a +1, which is an O. And Stanford is an L. They get +1, which is an M. But then Stanford doesn't have very good home field advantage. So Auburn stays at O. And Stanford goes down to L. Okay. Then we go to North Carolina State, Southern Mississippi. NC State starts at L. They go -4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to H. And Southern Mississippi starts at I. North Carolina has neutral defense, so they stay at I. So this one's really close. H and I. So we'll play this one online here on the channel. North Carolina State, Southern Mississippi. Here's H for the first quarter for North Carolina State. Here's their roll. 41. 41 is 6 points for NC State. Now it's Southern Miss. They get roll on I. Here's their roll. 43. 43 is 6 points. So they both have 6 points going in the second quarter. Second quarter, rolling on H for NC State. 15. 15 is scoreless. See if Southern Miss can take advantage. They're rolling on I. Here's their roll. 25. 25 is a field goal at the half. Southern Mississippi, 9. North Carolina State, 6. Close game. H. Third quarter. NC State, 33. That is a field goal. They tie the game at 9. But Southern Miss has to roll yet. Here's their roll. 23. 23 is a field goal. They scored just barely. They got a field goal, and they go back up by 3 points. It's 12-9. Go in the fourth quarter. Rolling on H. NC State rolls a 13. That is scoreless. So Southern Mississippi's guaranteed to win going into the second game. Let's see if they can add to their lead on I. The roll is 54. That's one of the better rolls of the day. Best roll, in fact, as they score a touchdown. So we go back to NC State, and Southern Miss has a 10-point lead. Here's Baylor and Arizona. J for Baylor. Arizona starts at I. They go down 2 to G. Home field is neutral. However, the strength of schedule is 7. So what does that mean? It's higher than 6. So it's 7. That means the higher team gets +1. So that means that Baylor is rolling on K, Arizona on G. So Baylor is rolling on K. Here's their first quarter roll. It's 41. 41 on K is 6 points for Baylor. The Baylor Bears, higher seed. They're the 20th ranked team in the nation versus 45th ranked Arizona, rolling on G. Here's their roll, 36. They get a field goal, just that close to tying the game. One more, if it'd been 41, they would have tied it, but they just get a field goal. They're trailed by 3. Baylor rolls on J again. They roll a 35. 35 is another 6-point quarter. They now have 12 points. Arizona rolling on G. They're looking for a big roll. Here it is. 11. That's a safety. And nothing more. 2 points. 12-5 at the half. Baylor rolling on K. Here's their roll. It's a 41. 41 is 6 points again. They've scored 6 points in every quarter. They lead at 18-5. Arizona, the home team, G. Here's their roll. 43. 43 is 6 points. And they get back to within a touchdown. Baylor rolls on K. Here's the roll. 22. 22 is a field goal on K. So it's 21-11. And here's Arizona's final roll. They roll 25. 25 is a big nothing. So Baylor goes home with a 10-point lead. Let's play this one. LSU, Michigan State. K2 is an M. And J -4. 1, 2, 3, 4 is an F. Maybe we won't play this one. This one looks like a blowout too. And then you took in the home field, E. And the strength of schedule is 7, so it's MN. So LSU should win that one easily. Here's Temple and Oklahoma State. PO. They stay on P. H -2. F. And the home field is +1 for Temple. So they go up to a Q. And Oklahoma State goes up 1 because of home field. So G and Q. That one's quite the difference. So is there any others ones worth playing that haven't been played? Washington, Oregon. That's a blowout, looks like to me. They start off in the same here, but the defense goes in different directions, and the strength of schedule is 10, which adds what? What does 10 add? 10 still adds +1 to the higher. Still, it looks like a blowout. North Carolina versus Rutgers. Brigham Young versus McNeese State. Let's just do the adjustments here. L minus 2 is J. Rutgers is J minus 3. I, J, G. And then the home field adds 1, so it's K. And then the home, or not the home field, the strength of schedule is +1. But the home field for Rutgers, they go up to an H. And North Carolina goes down to a J. So the difference is only 2. See if I got that right. L minus 2 is J, plus the strength of schedule is K. Rutgers is J minus 3, 1, 2, the G. The strength of schedule doesn't affect them. However, the home field affects them. They go up to H and they down. Yeah, this is a close one. This will be our final game of the day. North Carolina and Lawrence Taylor versus Rutgers. So we're going to roll with North Carolina on J. Here's their first roll. 21. 21 is nothing. So they don't score in the first quarter. Hometown Rutgers. They're rolling on H. Here's their roll. 46. 46 is a converted touchdown. Rutgers leads 7-0 after 1 quarter. North Carolina rolls for their second quarter on K. 46. 46 is a touchdown. They tie the game at 7. But Rutgers hasn't rolled yet. Here's their roll on H. 42. 42 is 6 points. So at the half, the score is 13-7 Rutgers. We roll North Carolina on J. 13. 13's nothing. This could be an upset. The 11th ranked North Carolina and the 54th ranked Rutgers. North Carolina scores nothing in the third quarter. Here's Rutgers on G. 14, they score nothing. So they don't take advantage of the big goose egg. Lawrence Taylor comes up big in his defensive role. Go to the fourth quarter. The spread is 6 points. We roll on J for North Carolina. Here's their roll, 53. They score a touchdown. They take the lead, 14-13. Rutgers rolls on G. They want to score something here. Here's their roll, 23, and they score nothing. So now the scene shifts back to North Carolina, and it's a 1-point game, 14-13. North Carolina leads. This one looks like a blowout, even though the defenses are incredible. But Brigham Young starts at S. Pitt Navy. Yeah, that's great defense. Houston and Hawaii. Yeah, we said that would be our last game, so that will be it. I'll play the rest of them offline. Then next week we'll play the second half, the second leg of all these games, and we'll play some of the closer ones. But that is it for today on the King Icheboo Sports Network. You're free to now go and switch over to ESPN and their Slo-pitch softball, professional Slo-pitch softball championship. This is King Icheboo signing off. We'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody. And tomorrow is the NFL. Let me remind you that we'll play some NFL. Goodbye, everybody.